Ayan, madami-dami nang nanonood. So, I can introduce you.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Her Majesty, the Queen of Philippine Wrestling, Crystal. What's
Hello.
up?
Nice to finally be here
Yeah.
after a week of talking.
Let's get this out of the way first. Diba? Kasi you are the queen, like I said, the queen of Philippine wrestling.
Yes.
Which is, alam mo yun, undisputed for me. I would even dare to say, queen of Asian wrestling.
Baka maraming umangal doon.
Basta ako, queen of Asian wrestling at least. And, alam mo yun,
I mean, I did fight over. I just had my match in Singapore. It was for the Queen of Asia Championship.
Did you win?
No, sadly no.
Oh.
It was hard.
You're still queen.
Yes, I'm still Queen of Philippine Wrestling.
No, pero I don't know if kasi when I watch your videos, you constantly upload the videos of your matches, and there's just something
short clips, yeah.
There's just something about you that stands out.
Yeah.
It stands out with the competition, even kahit sa abroad. So there's, I bet in 3 years you're gonna be in WWE.
Let's not go there.
Basta, this is, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it first here. Potentially our first Pinay.
Hopefully.
WWE.
I was supposed to be.
Wow, already?
Was supposed to be.
See? The
But,
konting
you know,
ano na lang.
Stuff happened.
Would you like to...
Because every year, well, there's only been 2 seasons of WWE Mae Young Classic, which is basically
Mae Young Classic.
Mae Young
Okay.
Classic. That's the name of the tournament. It's a 32-woman, tournament. And basically, they face off, brackets, and it gets smaller, and then, last 2 fights for the winner of the Mae Young Classic tournament. The first one was in 2017 and then 2018. I was supposed to be part of 2018.
Oh, and then what happened?
And then the embassy declined my visa.
What?
I'm just gonna clear this
Minor
up.
hiccup.
I'm just gonna clear this up because a lot of people have been throughout the year have been vocal, like, why did you say no to WWE? They said no to you, didn't they?
What?
Like, why didn't you go? And I was like, I can't say that I couldn't go because visa.
Why couldn't you say that?
Non-disclosure.
Oh.
Yeah.
But now?
I think it's done.
Okay. Ganun?
Yeah, no, because honestly, the women in that tournament deserved the spotlight more than me, and like it was just a little hiccup along the road. So I'm trying to get there, slowly but surely.
What year is this again?
2018.
So that was last year.
Last year around October, I believe. But I was really sad. I got depressed.
Oh.
Then I cried like 2 weeks straight. No, because that was my chance, It was like, the first actual homegrown talent. Because no disrespect to Batista or
Well, you're a female. Diba?
no, I mean, like,
Everybody-
no disrespect to Batista or like TJ Perkins, but there's no actual homegrown full
Yes.
talent from the Philippines that has gone to WWE, because you have the I think Batista's half Filipino, half Greek.
Half Greek,
so,
right?
So like, they're not full. So I feel like if someone from Manila, homegrown, kumakain ng isaw, kumakain ng kwek-kwek.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I know more Filipino words than mabuhay. Mabuhay.
Mabuhay. So first homegrown, but so you didn't get the part last year, but then on the good side, it's another year for you to hone your talents
Yeah.
even more, so that when they finally perform on that stage, talagang pulidong-pulido ka na, mas refined ka na than compared to last
a
year.
lot has happened, cause why don't we just go back from the start?
Sure. Okay. How did
I start?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Why of all things wrestling?
Really start na.
Yes.
So basically, when I was 4 years old, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
4 years, really start, yeah. My grandmom got breast cancer.
Oh.
Yeah, sad,
Okay.
but It's what
Grandma.
grandma.
Oh, yeah.
And then my grandma used to love WWF.
Mm.
Super crush na si Bret Hart. And then super astig daw ni
Favorite ko
Undertaker.
rin yun.
Yeah.
Oo.
So she had a massive crush on Bret Hart. Undertaker was like one of the people she found so astig and
Mm-mm.
stuff like that. So what happened is when she got breast cancer, what apparently my mom and uncle would do, like they would rent out VHS tapes in Video City, plug it into the tiny TV screen, like
Mm-mm.
the tiny TV on the mounted wall, like
Okay.
that was parang they plug in the VHS and stuff like that.
Mm-mm.
You know, like VHS player, blah blah blah. So even though like she was going through chemotherapy, she had an IV in her veins. What she would do while watching wrestling, she would
Mm-mm.
actually cheer and clap, and she was having fun.
Mm.
Kahit nasasaktan siya.
Mm-mm.
Like even though she had an IV in her vein, like she was suffering through breast cancer and
Mm-mm.
chemotherapy.
Buti may TV dun sa...
That was kind of, rare at the time. It was
Oo
like
nga, di ba?
1998.
She's in the hospital during this time,
Yeah,
no?
yeah.
Okay.
She would be in a hospital during this
Okay.
time. So, ayun. When I was a kid, like I saw what wrestling did for my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's for me, like wrestling is kind of an escape,
Mm-hmm.
like of our reality. It's another reality kasi.
Mhm.
Once you're in that wrestling world,
Mm-hmm.
like you're just captivated but of what's happening in the ring. Cause like kunyari, I'm watching wrestling when I was a kid.
Mm-mm.
Like I would forget that I would have homework or whatever. I would just be
Oh.
watching,
Mm-mm.
because I'm so into it. Because the wrestlers, what they work to do is to capture you and captivate you, make you feel their pain and stuff like that. Because you want to cheer for the good guy,
Yeah.
boo the bad guy. So that's what we do as wrestlers. We try to captivate you,
Yeah.
so that you would do this,
What era did you start?
kasi I've been watching since I was 4, basically. So yun, so
Okay.
when I was 4, I was like, I want to be a wrestler too.
Mm-mm.
Weirdly enough, like this tiny little Filipina girl in Olongapo City, Subic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I grew up in Subic.
Shout out
Um,
to taga-Subic.
Yeah. Tapos yun, sa West Tapinak. And
Mhm.
then, I grew up there, and like this tiny little girl in the hospital,
Mm-mm.
wanting to be a wrestler for WWE.
It
was a
do you
wild
remember
dream.
do you remember any comments or mga sinabi nila about you during that time? And
Wala.
So,
Pero
batang
actually,
to,
merong super weird na story for my grandma. My mom told me this story before.
Mhm.
What happened was she was pregnant with me.
Mhm.
I don't have any brothers or sisters.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a single mom, only child.
I see.
So when she was pregnant with me, my lola and my tito were watching WWF.
Mhm.
As in, wala pang breast cancer.
Mm-mm.
And then they were watching WWF. And then my mom passes by and she says, "What are you guys watching again? Ano na naman pinapanood ninyo?"
Mm-mm.
It's like, and my grandma says, like, "Of course it's wrestling. Syempre, wrestling." And then, because my mom really hated it, because like to her it was just violence.
Ah.
And then she was like, she passed by, and for some reason, she couldn't stop watching. So she snuck in, like, she passed by, trying to be all, I hate this, hindi maganda to. Ayan, she passed
Okay.
by, and then she was like, behind the bars of like our staircase,
Mhm.
back in Olongapo, in Subic, she would be watching like in between the bars.
Mhm.
So it was so cute. So parang like that, she was hiding from my grandma and my tito.
Bakit?
Kasi she was against it eh. So parang it's like she feels guilty of being against it, but then she's watching it. So yun. And after the show was done, apparently my lola found her watching.
Mm-mm.
And she was like, "Oh, anak, mag-ingat ka, baka yung apo ko maging wrestler."
Oh my God.
The foreshadowing is real.
Mhm.
Basically my grandma said, like, be careful, my granddaughter might be a wrestler for those
Oh.
English speaking only
Mm-mm.
people there. Because my boyfriend might be watching. So.
Mm.
He only speaks English.
Ah, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can we should speak a little bit more English for the future, so that
Awkward.
okay.
Anyway, so yun, and then I think it was like 5. back in 2014, October of 2014.
Mm-hmm.
No. Basta the month October 2014, me and my friends were starting to watch WWE again.
Mm-hmm.
We were like in school, like parang there were like 5 people who would watch wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And then we would get together like after Monday Night Raw, like we would discuss like why did this happen?
Talaga?
Why? And
A
then
bunch of girls.
no, not,
Okay.
I was the only girl,
Ah,
and
I
they were
see, I
guys,
see, I
and like
see.
parang like why did Roman Reigns do this? Why did Seth Rollins? Did you see Seth Rollins' heel turn? He blah blah blah. Like that. So like we were all freaking out. So what we would do, that's what we would do on the regular. And then one of my friends said, "Oh guys, there's this new thing in Manila. There's wrestling now.
Mhm.
There's a wrestling school. Why don't we try out? Maybe we can actually be wrestlers." And then we sent in our videotapes, which I find funny because I think JDL
Mm-mm.
knows this because I sent
JDL
it
is
Jake De Leon,
Jake De Leon,
which
okay.
is like he's
Yeah.
yeah
Si
Mr.
Senyorito.
Philippine Wrestling, yeah.
Okay.
Basically. And then what happened was we sent in our videos and basically they said like name, age, where you're from.
Where is this?
No, like video lang.
Video
yeah,
lang.
Yeah,
Okay,
cell phone.
okay.
And then name, age, where you're from, do you have any athletic background, tapos why do you deserve this? So parang like they're asking you to do a promo.
Mm-mm.
But basically it was like a kind of interview.
Mm-mm.
It's just to introduce yourselves.
Mm-mm.
So what I said is like, I'm Vernice Gabriel. I am 21 at the time. I
Mhm.
think I was 20 or 21. And I'm 20 or 21 years old, and I have a black belt in Taekwondo. I used to do cheerleading, and you should accept me because I'm a girl. That's exactly what I said.
Really?
Yes, and then I got accepted.
Well, actually, it's short, pero okay. Kung nga kayong titingnan.
No, kasi
Yeah.
at the time there were no guys, I think.
No
There
girls.
were other girls who were in training, but then they would like, what happened was they quit,
Mm-mm.
and then they would come back. So it was that type. So I was the only one who stayed a while.
I see.
So then I got in. First day of training, first day of boot camp. Second batch of boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Second batch ka na.
Yeah, I was second batch
Okay.
because our first batch were the originators, which is basically, Ken Warren, Jake De Leon, Chris Panzer, the guys
Mm-mm.
the guys you've
Yeah.
seen.
Mm-mm.
Because at that point, like the only show you've seen, like, dun pa lang nade-develop yung batch 2.
I
Basically.
see.
So that's what happened, and then I never stopped training for like I think 3 years. I got injured nung January of 2015.
3 years
No,
training ka lang.
what happened was like, I was in boot camp for 14 months.
Mhm.
And then I debuted as an announcer.
Oh, I saw that. I
Uh,
saw that.
And then, 16 months, 2 months after that. So, like, it took me 16 months to debut as a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
So, yun.
More than a year.
More than a year.
Mhm.
No, also, I got injured.
I see. Yeah,
Pero,
yeah. Okay.
I think for 3 years, I never stopped training.
Mm-mm.
As in, every Sunday, I would be there.
Okay.
It was only until, like, last year that I got busier. Or, like,
Yeah.
this year that I'm, like, not all the time here, so.
Well, because you're busy with the wrestling
With work,
gigs.
wrestling,
Diba?
work, sad life, work.
So, did you even imagine? So, na, alam mo yun, this would be the words of your grandma
No.
would become, alam mo yun,
No, kasi
reality.
what freaked me out was my mom told me this story. Like, I was a year into wrestling already.
Talaga?
Yeah. So 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
January of 2017,
Mm-hmm.
WWE made a scouting trip in Southeast Asia.
Mhm.
So they went to Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines.
Okay.
So they have the video on Facebook, I think, or on the WWE website as well. So that's how they found me in the first place. So they went in, they scouted, they interviewed a lot of people in Singapore, they interviewed me,
Mm-hmm.
and then next thing I know, you receive an email and they're going down again, blah 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 blah. And then
Going down, what do you mean going down?
going down to Asia again.
Okay, I
So
see.
basically, they're just scouting around,
Okay.
looking for people. I guess I don't know why.
Mhm.
I'm just really nervous. Like when I met, it was like a training. We were having this training in Singapore Pro Wrestling. Andrew Tang, the statement, he was leading the training.
Mhm.
So, and then Matt Bloom was there,
Mhm.
and then
Matt Bloom is A-Train, right?
yes,
Okay.
I was just like, you know how you have mental blocks sometimes.
Mhm.
I was having body block.
Body block?
Like, there are things that in wrestling, like we do these rolls, like we do handstands,
Mhm.
headstands, like
You
normal.
mean drills?
Yeah, drills.
Okay.
Normally, I can do them fine,
Mhm.
but for some reason, they were in front of me, and I was like, why can't I do this today? I was like trying to do my headstand. I was like, why can't I? I can normally do this. Like I can balance myself and then roll into it, but for some reason today I can't. So basically, I was just having the worst body block ever.
So you had
We basically trained in front of them. It was kind of
Oh, this is you.
yeah. We were kind of. It was kind of jarring because he's the head coach of NXT, I believe.
How big is this guy?
I was on my tippy toes.
Really?
I was already
That's
on
a
my
huge man.
like considering I was
Grabe.
already on my tippy toes in that one.
Mhm.
He yeah.
Well, he used
I'm
to
like
be.
1/4 of it.
And he's not even the biggest guy in the WWE.
I know. Like,
Mas-
imagine if I stand beside Big Show
Oo nga,
or
no?
Mark Henry, I would disappear. I feel like I'm just one leg of Big Show.
Kahit si John Cena nga lang just John Cena. So,
John Cena.
you're
man.
gonna...
Honestly, John Cena, like, wow.
You've seen him in person?
No.
No?
I'm not even. I don't even. I feel like if I see him in person, I would be like
I'd
just be like,
you're gonna be hanging out with him
no,
sooner or later.
don't say that. Don't say that. Oh my god.
What? No.
Pressure.
Well, I think they missed out on you last year. Kumbaga, parang, well, I think it's you know how
Also, a part of me feels like maybe it wasn't time yet.
yeah, maybe actually that's probably it. But then again, who else are they gonna get from Asia?
I don't know. Alexis Lee from Singapore.
Sure,
Gypsy from
but
Thailand.
sure,
a
but
lot
if
of
they're
other
getting
women, yeah.
them, they'll be getting you as well.
Mhm.
Come on.
Well, I want to get there. I want to,
course.
make the Filipinos out there proud.
Okay.
Okay, so that's me versus Kali Nueva. That happened last month, April, at PWR Live Destino.
So
That's me with the very, ponytail look.
Mm.
Tuhod sa mukha. Yeah, and you're about to see one of my signature moves. I call it the crystal cutter, I think.
Did
It's a sliced bread number 2.
did you come up with your signature moves? Did they how do you come up with those? Did they let you choose
Yeah,
or
I mean, yeah, they basically let us just, tuhod sa mukha.
Oh, I like your submission hold. What do you call that?
I call it, I forgot. Crystallized?
Crystallized.
Yeah.
What's this move?
It's just a split leg drop. There you
Oh.
go. Hi.
I really like the moves. I really like how you,
That's where you go. Okay. Oh.
whoa.
Okay. Yeah.
Even how you enter the
And the
ring.
Yeah, I split into it.
Did you choreograph it?
Well, because I had like cheerleading background, right? And I basically did a lot of sports during my time.
Ding! Another
My-
point
yeah.
in favor of you.
And
Like,
then basically, I think you can search up my entrance video on my Crystal page.
yeah, I saw that.
It has my all the splits, and actually it has basically my moves.
Actually, even your crown crown gesture. What do you call that?
I just do it.
Is there a standard name for those kinds of things?
There's no like name for the move itself.
Is this it? Is this it?
Let's scroll down.
I scroll down. Okay.
I fling myself around.
So those are your moves. Those are your signature moves.
That's the crystal cutter. Malaysia.
Yeah, Damn, how long did you train to be able to do these things? Kasi when I first saw you perform, parang medyo hindi pa refined masyado eh. Pero right now when I see them, it's
That's my finisher. I call it the soulmate.
whoa! Oh, you see that? You see that? That's something else.
And that's the crystallized.
That's a star, man. Oh, that one.
I was so young. I was a youngin.
See. Oh man. Yeah. Have you been had the scouts seen your reel,
My
your fight reel? Or?
maybe. I mean, when they emailed me, apparently they had like a profile on me,
Mhm.
so it's kind of scary because I didn't know that they were basically watching.
Of course.
Yeah.
They gotta be.
So when they scouted, I thought that it was just like, oh, this new girl, so let's just show her off. And but basically they do actually have a
Mhm.
profile.
Kasi if you're gonna think about it, how many promotions like PWR are there, diba? Even in here in the Philippines, I think we have two or
Three.
three, right? Yeah, three. So
The other one's just inactive.
yeah. So but then for you to be able to fight women, is it more enjoyable for you when you go abroad kasi you get to fight other women, 'di ba? Is it how does that compare?
No, kasi how to say? I've actually also wrestled men abroad, I think.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, once. Yeah. But it's honestly an honor to represent the Philippines
Mhm.
whenever I'm wrestling abroad because it gives me the platform to be able to, showcase my company, our company PWR.
Mhm.
That's in Malaysia,
Mhm.
and it's honestly an honor because the wrestling scene isn't big, and it really takes someone. Oh, that was like a power. That was a choke slam.
That's just ang liit lang.
Yeah, I died in that.
Oh, really? I saw a move. I'm actually looking for the move where you're hanging in the second rope. Tapos the other girl was standing on the top rope and then
That
and
happened
then
last
stomped
weekend.
on you,
Yeah, that
diba?
happened last weekend. It's in there.
Oo nga eh. Parang I remember it's in the stories kasi. So that's why I went here.
Pero it's in there.
How many matches have you done so far? Have you done hundreds already? Parang it feels like that.
No. I think it's nearing 50.
Really?
Nearing 50.
Wow. Within...
But considering kasi PWR has monthly shows, so that's 11 per year.
Oh, was that you?
Which one?
Is that you?
Yeah, I was just in a shirt. In
Really?
Malaysia.
Ah, okay. I thought it was another girl.
No,
Oo
it's
nga.
just my hair was straight.
Okay. Sabi, because she did that.
Yeah.
So, I thought it wasn't you.
No, but that's me.
Alright.
That's me with Chris Panzer.
Mhm.
That's another Malaysia one. That's my PW, Malaysian Pro Wrestling, Malaysia Pro Wrestling.
Awesome.
Just me doing stuff.
Grabe. Ang galing nung move na yun.
Actually,
Anyway.
marami pa siya. Actually, if you just forward it.
Talaga?
Nandun yung, nasa dulo kasi yung ano eh. Oh, it's me. It's me. It's on a poster.
Oh, I always see this guy. Sino ba yan?
That's Andrew Chang. He is the
That's
co-founder
Andrew Chan.
of
Okay.
SPW, which is Singapore Pro Wrestling.
I see. Okay, parang he's a familiar face.
He's also been here in Philippines.
Oh, I think I had a video with him.
We invited him. Oh, that move was like one of my favorites.
Really? This one?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What's that? Top rope jump?
It's a top rope, a Hurricane Rana, diving Hurricane Rana. Because like it took me a while to have the courage to do it. Because it's a big jump. Like when you're on the top rope,
Mm-hmm.
Nakakalula.
How about jumping outside the ring?
Oh no, that's scary. Oh,
Have you done that?
Yes, I have. But
Talaga?
like with people like, standing there
Oo.
ready to catch, but
What if they didn't? What if they don't catch you? Ano mangyayari sa kanya?
oh, I would die. I would be like dead.
Yun,
But that was me in India.
Okay.
I can't say anything about it because it's not showing it.
I
But yeah,
see.
there's a tiny little thing production.
Whoa. How many countries have you been wrestling? Parang
I've
ganun.
wrestled in 5.
5.
Mhm.
India, Malaysia, Singapore,
Thailand, Philippines.
Thailand, Philippines.
Yes.
Diba? Who would have known, no?
Mm.
That wrestling would take you to these places. Of all the
No, the thing
things.
why